How's it going, Central Cal community? Episode number 2 of Truck Talk. And this is where we get together and you guys can get a more transparent feel of all of our locations and talk about what's going on in the industry. And today I have Mr. Kregg Baur. I'm going to let him introduce himself, let him tell you guys what he does here at Central Cal. Kregg?
Okay. Hello everyone, this is my first podcast, but so I'm Kregg Baur, Sales and Purchasing Manager at Central California Truck and Trailer, and I spend most of my time purchasing equipment for all 6 stores, and I oversee Sacramento and French Camp on the day-to-day stuff. So I've been doing this stuff for 25 years. I guess I actually work for Kenworth Truck Company, just a lot of different things, but pretty much all on the used truck side of it, except for, I guess, 4 years in the new. So
that's pretty cool. So 25 years, guys. So my thing is, these guys are coming to purchase quality used trucks from us, and the trucks that they're purchasing are the trucks that you're buying. So when you're looking for equipment for us to have, what are you looking for most? Are you looking at low mileage? Are you looking at where it's been driven? What are you looking for when purchasing equipment?
So multiple things. Condition. I've been in the business for 25 years, so certain fleets maintain their trucks different than other fleets. So I kind of know the history of a lot of the fleets. So I'm looking for just their reputation in the industry. I kind of even break it down as to where they run the trucks, because we're a little snobby out here in California. We don't like rust, so you got to kind of know where the trucks are running. So I'll get down to that level and kind of cherry pick, and only kind of run in rust-free areas, or buy in areas that are kind of out of the rust belt. So I'm looking at that. My compensation is actually kind of driven in a way that has a negative effect. If I buy trucks and they have problems and we have to spend $2,000-3,000 to fix them, that's not good for me personally. So I may have customers that love Cummins or whatever, but if I think Detroit Diesel's better and has less problems, I'm gonna probably chase Detroit Diesel.
Right.
This has kind of been an interesting few years with all this emission stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience, I think Detroit is kind of built the best mousetrap, coming from a guy that pays the bills when it doesn't work right. And so I've kind of been really focused on Detroit because they've had the least amount of problems, and so that's kind of what I've been doing over the last couple of years. Now, looking at 2016, I kind of think everyone has a pretty good engine in the marketplace. So I'm very excited about kind of going forward.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. You said you're really excited about a specific truck. Do you want to share what truck you're excited about? You said the 2016?
Well, like I said, I think Detroit's been doing it right.
Yeah.
Doing it the best over the last, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. So they kind of have it down pat. So they don't really have to prove themselves much. We have to kind of educate the DT12 automatic transmission.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited, about the 2016, I guess, Cascadia evolution with the DD15.
What do you mean have to be educated on the people making the switch from
manual
to automated?
Yeah. You need to watch all the internet, like our audience here.
Yeah.
We got Facebookers and Instagrammers, and you always see the people making fun of the guy that's driving the automatic. Okay. I get it. I'm a tough guy. but fleets. So I'm dealing with these fleets that run for 17,000 power units.
Right.
And I guess the accountants there aren't such tough guys. They want to make money, and it comes down to fuel, right? And there's a driver. They buy automatics because it helps drivers, so you can get more people to drive the automatic. But the reason the fleets are all in, like 90 to 100% on the automatic, is fuel economy.
Right.
So
makes sense.
So with our audience, we have to kind of convince them it's not so much the tough guy. I can shift the gears and all that. We all love that. I mean, I drove a truck since I was 14. I could tell you more about my background.
Yeah.
So we have a job to educate on the DT12, and actually they all have good automatic transmissions. It used to be the Volvo I-Shift was the one. Then,
Right.
then Detroit came out with something to compete with the Volvo I-Shift.
Right.
And now Eaton Fuller came out with the Fuller Advantage that is right there. So everyone has a great automatic transmission now that we can sell. And now everyone has a great engine, I think, in 2016. So I'm excited about diversifying a little bit here. Yeah.
And that's one thing I've noticed is you being in the industry for as long as you have, you know how to keep us current and up to date with the best and most current trucks that are going to save our audience the most money.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing this 25. Most of my salespeople, I mean, some of them long time, but a lot of them are new people.
Right.
They don't know the ins and outs of what's best.
Yeah.
And I don't trust all my sales guys to know that. They're not there. So, I mean, I'm buying the stuff that I know is going to be good for our end users, our podcast viewers. So I don't leave it up to someone that's been doing this a year or 2 or 3.
Yeah. Makes sense. Who do you listen to, right?
Who do you listen to? Yeah. So, anyways, and it's really about, which one has the best mousetrap, which one has the least amount of repairs, which one gets the best fuel economy. So that's what drives my.
That's awesome.
My
So you guys kind of get a better idea of what he's looking for when he's purchasing equipment and what equipment's hot right now, which is the automated trucks. And like Kregg said, it's really because it's saving you fuel, which is saving your business money, and it's a lot easier to drive, so it's easier to get someone in the truck to start driving for you and whatnot. So what I do want to talk about real briefly is this podcast style video allows us to get to know our team a little bit better. So I'm a little curious, you said you started driving your trucks when you were 14?
So I grew up in Michigan,
Okay.
and I grew up on a farm. We actually farmed 2,400 acres, had milked 120 cows, had 77,000 chickens. And so where I came into the trucking stuff was when you have 77,000 chickens, that is 2 semi-loads of eggs, graded eggs, and carton eggs a week. And so we're not in California, in Michigan. You could get a farmer's permit at age 14. So I would actually drive a semi of graded eggs to Flint, Michigan when I was 14. And then when I turned 16, I would go to Detroit, to the Detroit Farmers Market.
That is wild. And you sell eggs out there?
No, we would take them to wholesalers, like maybe a semi-load of graded eggs. So like a 48 trailer back then. That was before Jim Hebe, I think he's the one that changed the industry to the 53-foot trailer.
Right.
But before that, when I was young, it was the 48-foot reefer trailer. So anyways, so I've been around a long, long time.
That's crazy. So who taught you how to drive?
Gosh, I grew up on a farm, so I was driving tractors.
Right.
But my dad, I guess,
Yeah.
And actually, my dad was actually a JB Hunt. We farmed and then kind of went through a foreclosure and lost our farm. And so my dad actually drove for JB Hunt for 10 years and was a 1,000,000-mile safety driver. So there's not many guys that hit the 1,000,000-mile safety kind of deal. So
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I see them getting awards for that and whatnot.
So yeah, my background's here.
That's cool.
I started, I'm from Michigan, so I was in automotive, like Pontiac Motors, and I kind of said, everyone knows cars, and it's kind of boring. And I got into trucks with International Truck Company, Navistar, and I spent 14 years with them before I went to Kenworth and various other things. Yeah.
That's cool. I know for me personally, I'm always excited to learn something from you because you've been in the industry for so long. One thing I do want to say is we stopped at Starbucks to grab a water real quick, and I overheard the lady saying that they were out of what were they out of? They were out of
the spinach egg wraps.
Yeah, they're out of spinach egg wraps, and you said what other store was out of something the other day?
Chick-fil-A was out of their fries.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A was out of their fries. So when they said that, the first thing I thought was someone didn't deliver, right?
A truck didn't
deliver.
Oh, yeah.
So, people really feel it, when a truck doesn't deliver the goods because you don't get the goods if the truck driver doesn't deliver them. So, and that was real life, and that was nice.
No, and I can come to work, I've been doing it 25 years. I'm excited about it because you kind of have to have, it's a little bit beyond the money. Like, what do you, at the end of the day, what you do?
Right.
And, you know, if you're sitting here having, you know, if you're freaking, your business cards, I don't care, this printer we got, it all came on a truck,
Yeah.
you know, so it's, and there's all families out there that we get the new guy, the first time buyer, and, you know,
Yeah.
and he goes from doing something else into having his own business. It's pretty, it's a feel good moment.
Right. That's so
then,
true.
And then just pretty much if you're consuming something, it pretty much came on a truck. So it's an important part of our economy.
Yeah.
For sure.
But that's something you realized a long time ago.
Yeah,
It's been-
it was different than the cars. I
Yeah.
kind of did a conscious decision to get out of the car stuff because it's a one-off. Every day is different.
Right. That's what they were saying.
We have different buyers. You know, I don't know, what is it? Probably 65% of our buyers are reefer guys going East Coast, West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would say 65, maybe 70% are East Coast reefer guys.
Okay.
So we gotta cater to those guys. The majority of our business in the Sacramento, French Camp, Stockton, is really the sleeper tractor stuff. We do some day cabs, but we don't really get into the vocational as
Right.
much. But still, your dry van guy is different than your reefer guy, and so it's a constant battle of finding the right stuff for every application, and
Right.
and local guys, and then a big chunk of our audience is kind of going, you know, north and south, so California, Oregon, Washington, and then another chunk kind of goes, you know, your containers and local business. I can kind of break it down a little bit as a buyer when I'm doing. I kind of buy for like 3 different segments.
Okay.
You know that East Coast, West Coast guy. He comes in and the first thing out of his mouth is, "What do you have in the threes?"
Okay. Low
So
mileage.
because he only wants to deal with us every 3 years, so he wants to start out with the truck in the threes. So that's you know, that can be a upper 70s, mid 80s kind of truck. So I buy it for that buyer. You know, I look at it as one segment.
Okay.
I look at another segment as that north-south, California, Oregon, Washington guy.
Okay.
He doesn't need, you know, that. I mean, he still needs a nice truck, but it's usually kind of a step down. It could be more like a $65,000 truck.
Okay.
And then we have some local guys doing containers and just local business where you're closer to home. You can fix these trucks if something happens.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're trying to buy in that kind of 40 to 45 range, 35 to 49 range. So that's how I break it down. Aside from buying reliable trucks, I kind of want to make sure I have those 3 categories for our buyers.
Wow. Yeah, that helped make a lot of sense for me. So you're accommodating for all different types of buyers.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Exactly.
So I know you're a busy guy, so we're gonna let him go. But before we do, one of the perks of following our social media platforms is seeing the inventory before anybody else does, before Truck Paper, before anyone else. And we actually did get delivery today of some really nice trucks. Kregg, do you want to let them know what just came to the yard today?
Yeah, sure. So we just got a 4-way of 2015 Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions. They have the Detroit DD15 455 horse motor, and that has the remainder of a 5-year, 500,000 mile warranty. So good stuff there. These happen to be all 10 speeds, but I have the same trucks with 13 speeds on the yard. Miles are in the kind of in the 3s. I think a couple were low 4s. So we have those. What else can I tell you about them? All aluminum wheels, air slide fifth, double bunks, just good solid trucks, and that's kind of more that second tier truck.
Right.
But again, that truck could definitely make it back to Michigan or New York if it needed to.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
That's awesome. Well, guys, contact information to get a hold of Kregg for any inventory or anything at all is right below in the caption or right above. And thank you for tuning in for episode number 2 of Truck Talk, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Cool. Awesome.